our next podcast for the Teachers Independent Network. Hi, Geraldine. How are you today?
Thank you for that very warm welcome. I'm very well, just a little bit chilly. It's good to see you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it is very cold in Cape Town. What's the weather like? Is it rainy or is it just cold?
It's actually really just cold, but the sun is out. So it makes a difference if you're a little bit in the sun. The temperature is a little bit low, but I think it's still a good day.
It's still a good day. We're experiencing quite a little bit of wind. Cape Town is known for the wind, but it's not too bad today. So on today's episode, we are discussing, is independent teaching really sustainable? Is it really for you? So the short answer to that question is yes. So we're just going to go into kind of the myths about independent teaching, being unstable or risky, or you're taking a chance on your future in teaching. We're going to touch on all of those things today, share our personal experiences, people we've seen or experienced in passing that are in independent teaching, and all of those things. A lot of people have said to me, maybe family, maybe friends, doing your own business in general. When I was working at my previous job, when I resigned, everybody came up to me and they asked me, where are you going to work after this? What are your plans? And I said, I work for myself. I don't see the need of working for somebody else, because what I used to do, every day I carried a notepad with me, or I would use the computer, the notepad. I would write all my dreams and aspirations on there every day, how I'm going to run my business, what I'm going to do, the services I'm going to offer. Every single day I would write about my dreams, write about my goals. I didn't even know what I was doing at the time because I was just writing them. I didn't want to forget what I want to do when I get home. We tend to forget what our dreams, desires, and goals are. Once we kind of out of sight, out of mind, or we out of that mind frame of, I need to just get out. I cannot work for a boss. It just becomes tedious. There's lots of people that can work a job and build a business. It's a character flaw.
Quite normal. And also as teachers going independent, that thought sometimes it's really scary and people feel, wow, what if we have so many questions? Once we know the steps, things will become clear. And of course, it's a whole different story.
I think this is why a lot of teachers have the idea of doing independent teaching or just doing teaching itself, but then they don't follow through because of the fact that they haven't written it down, made it a reality for their own brain. Writing things down makes things more, it's almost like it affects activity or proactivity in the brain. When you write something down, it's almost like it makes it more real. So yeah, teachers, write down your goals, write down your dreams, your desires, the things that you want to be doing, write them down. Okay. According to your knowledge and experience with other teachers, what do you think the biggest fear that teachers have when they are considering going independent?
One of the biggest fears for teachers could be the question, what if something doesn't work? Sometimes we feel, what if I leave my job? Am I going to be left with nothing? Am I going to make it out there? So just the idea of teaching independently can sometimes feel unstable in our minds. But if we know the steps, if we know where to get the support, if we join the correct community already, you are in control and you don't have to be dependent on admin schools, on platforms. So I think the minute you feel you are in charge, that fear will disappear because now you're in control of your own rate, your own time, your own students. So yeah, I think it's normal to have that kind of fear, but it's because we don't know. And when we don't know, we normally fear. So how do you feel about the biggest fear?
Or helping teachers over the years, the biggest fear or the biggest question that they really have is, where do I find students? Where are they coming from? Who are these people? How do I find them? Are they going to come to me? Am I good enough? There's so many different questions that teachers have. And all of those questions, they are valid. Am I good enough as a teacher? I used to question that all the time, especially going into teaching, my first teaching job. Am I going to perform well as a teacher? Am I going to, impart knowledge today, or am I just going to, fail at this lesson today? You just need to find that place within yourself that says, I am good enough. I can do this. And I was speaking to somebody today, and they have a lot of struggles. They're struggling in their life right now, financially, emotionally, mentally. I said to this person, sometimes you just have to lie, straight up lying to yourself, saying, I am a good person. I have all the money that I need and want. I have the job and the life that I want. Because these are the things I say to myself. There was a time a few years ago when I felt so despondent about my life. My life wasn't going anywhere. I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have direction. And I sat back and I thought to myself, Jamie Lee, you were not raised like this. Your parents didn't raise you having so much self-doubt, having low self-esteem. So I stopped myself and I said, something has to change. And then I started on my positive journey, for lack of a better word. From there, everything just progressed and got better for me. I may not have so much money in my bank account or making so much money a month, but I'm in such a good space as a person that I feel like I've won at life.
Yeah, and that's an amazing feeling because you are emotionally well, you are mentally well. And I think it's all about our belief system. Once you believe you are capable, that's a very good space to be in. I love that. Let's start believing that we already are successful and things will start working out for us.
Absolutely. Just believe it and it will come. This is not a one-time thing. You can't just tell yourself you're a good person for a week and then for the rest of your life you decide or you think that you're going to be a good person. Every single day you have to tell yourself these things. It's a real practice. It's a journey. It's a lifestyle. When it comes to helping teachers, what is something you will say to them when they have the self-doubt, specifically about finding the students, and they say, but where do I find them? How do I find them? What do I need to do? How will you help them overcome that fear and move past that?
Not finding students or having to overcome fear is something we hear all the time. But because we fear what we don't know, that's where we get stuck. And if we can move away from that, I think the truth is every independent teacher starts with 0 students. We don't have students, but of course you have to take the first step. So it's almost like just getting enough courage to take that first step that will actually help us. It's normal to start from scratch. There are a lot of platforms, of course, that can be of great help. A lot of knowledge that we will share as we go on with our next sessions. First, the mindset, overcome your fear, and then take the first step.
Absolutely. Nothing better than taking your first step into anything. Once we took that first step, we were like, okay, I can walk now. And then we started running and then we started jumping. The baby step that you take, it leads to bigger action. You need to plan your life in terms of year goals. Think in the future, think 5 years, 10 years ahead where you want to be. Don't think I want to be here in a week. A week is too little. Even 3 months, even a year. It's too little. Give yourself time. This is what gets people tripped up and gives people that pressure of not having anything. They give themselves a week to do something and it's not enough time. We have something very exciting this week that we'd love to share with you all, specifically and especially because we're speaking about where do I find my students, how do I find them. I have fear as a teacher. We have a checklist list that we would like to share with you. It is going to be your roadmap to starting your teaching business. So we're not doing everything all at the same time. We're doing one step at a time. So it will be available for download in the show notes or in the description of this video. You will find the link and then you can have this. And it's completely free.
I see a lot of teachers do ask about platforms like WeChat. I think WeChat and some Facebook platforms are really gold mines, but it's also the fact on how do we market ourselves on there. Really be consistent and be helpful. Share some content that people out there might want to hear. That is where we can start building trust.
As you know, this is the Teachers Independent Network. Our community focuses exactly on that. helping you take your first steps into independent teaching. So there are going to be a lot of people that need that hand holding, just somebody to guide them on the way, a helping hand to guide you whenever you trip or you fall or you feel like you can't do this, you're feeling demotivated, you're feeling overwhelmed. The community is there to help you. Lift you out of that fear, that anxiety, the doubt that you have.
And I think that's what we need. We need a community that supports you and, of course, stand by you if you feel uncertain or unsure, and little steps that can help us with our plan.
Going back to kind of the mindset around the journey, for you specifically, Geraldine, how important is mindset versus a strategy in the teaching journey?
Mm-hmm. Strategy do get you visibility. If you have a good strategy you follow, you will become visible. So it's all about consistency. And I think mindset keeps you going, honestly. If your mindset is in the right place, you will go from level A to level B. You have to have a good plan for that. And in this community, this is what we believe. Come in with the right mindset, not feeling stuck at one place, opens your mind to think independently and build from there.
Strategy gets you to places. It helps you become visible. It helps you on social media. It helps you in your business. But when it comes to your mindset, that's like forever.
And I'm sure for you, it's also been getting your mindset correct when you first stepped out. I'm sure you had to work on your mindset as well to become more goal driven. Mm-hmm.
It was really it was hectic for me because I felt like I was losing myself in my job. See, it wasn't for me. It wasn't good. And the environment wasn't good as well either. Like we spoke on last week, we had that whole burnout feeling and that feeling of just like, I don't belong here. What am I doing here? Yeah, I definitely felt all of those things, for sure. Both Geraldine and I have come into contact with so many teachers, that have built their teaching businesses that are South African teachers. They aren't international teachers. There was a lady I was in contact with a few years ago, and she had built her independent teaching business from the ground up. She didn't have any help. So she found her students on social media platforms and she works 3 hours a day. She made enough money to move out of her parents' house. She bought herself like a farm type of thing. It was like a small holding, I guess, where she has a couple of animals, working 3 hours a day, and the rest of the time belongs to herself and her precious animals. What better life to live than that? If that is something that you choose for yourself. How cute is that? To have a farm.
Spending more time about what you're passionate about will also help you grow and develop personally. And I think that's important. Next week, let's line up 1 or 2 interviews with independent teachers that will give us a good insight of, beginner steps and what are the challenges. That's very important to know what are the challenges. But mostly just focus on the freedom and really just step by step to grow your business. So I think that interview will be something to look forward to.
I think I say this every week. We are going to help a lot of teachers. Everything that we do in our community to support and provide that, hand holding, friendship, networking vibe or attitude, it's going to help teachers so much, right? So don't forget, you can get your independent teaching checklist. I've had a fantastic time this week. It's always good to spend some time with you, Geraldine. It's good to spend some time with you guys as well. Thank you so much for joining us again, and we will see you next week.
Thank you so much, Jamie Lee. And yeah, please stick around because our next episode will really be about where to get support, what the strategy is, and of course the mindset. So we are here. This community is here to help you. Let's build together on that.